Today, we're super happy to have the Synergy Spotlight on Julia Schneider, transformative coach, all-around powerhouse of a woman. Thank you so much, Julia, for being here today.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
Julia, will you tell us about your program? How did it come about?
So my program is actually, it's a result of about 19 years of research, but the last 12 years were, I would say, like most intense in the way I was studying and researching. And it's hard to talk about it. So it all started with, I have a huge passion for health. I'm just extremely passionate about health and well-being. And I started my career by being an early childhood educator. And this is where I started learning about human development. And then I went to university and I got my degree in kinesiology and health sciences. And that sort of built on top of what I already knew about how humans develop, what sustains health in a human being. I went into being a personal trainer. So that I took my skills deeper in that way. And then I realized that just training your body, it's not enough to be healthy. It doesn't, for some people it brings, definite results, meaning that they change their lifestyle and they become healthy. But for a lot of people, it didn't. It was only they would come in and train with me for about 3 months or so. They would achieve the kind of body they wanted. And then they would go back to their life. And oftentimes they would just revert to their old ways. And I realized that a lot of I basically saw pretty clearly that health is built on a foundation of emotions. So, because I was always questioning, okay, well, why is it that when I'm here waiting for people, they come and they work out and they take care of their health, but if I'm not there, a lot of them just fall off and just don't do it. And I came to the conclusion that it has a lot to do with emotions and belief systems that were kind of getting in the way of them staying on track. And so I studied with feminine power. I became a feminine power coach, and I addressed that piece as well. And at the same time, there were so many pieces there because it went on for many years. I also discovered, I noticed a very clear relationship between women who had challenging relationships and their health. So women who had good relationships, they oftentimes were much more healthy and it was easier for them to sustain the changes than women who had challenging relationships. So that kind of turned me into researching the attachment style theory, which is, I think you guys, seems like you guys are familiar with it. And yeah, so all of that together, now I kind of feel like I'm at the apex of my career. I put together basically all my health knowledge, all my attachment theory knowledge, transformative knowledge, and intuition-based knowledge, and I put it all together in this program. So that's that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And what's your overall mission? I love, because having gone through a lot of these things before and watching the pattern of myself of while I had a trainer and accountability, and that I had a much clearer path. And without that, I can absolutely see how you did it. So, and the true value of it, it's amazing to have that kind of transformation. I guess that I have just recently learned about attachment theory, and it has been very clarifying for me, but I might have been the only person shaking my head. So I don't know if you want to give a quick overview of attachment theory.
Yeah, I can totally. It's so basically it's so when we were born, we're helpless, obviously, right? We're babies, and so we have a natural instinct to attach to our caregiver. And so it depends on the kind of caregiver we have. If the caregiver is available, like emotionally available and safe and kind of warm, we end up with secure attachment. So it's like we trust that the person will be there, they'll take care of us, they'll take care of our needs. So that's the kind of ideal situation. And then there's 3 other attachment styles. And so one of them is called avoidant attachment style. And that's when the caregiver it was just so unsatisfying to connect with the caregiver that the child just decides, you know what, I'm better off on my own. Like, I don't want to, I'm going to be independent. I'll take care of myself. And people just become kind of avoidant towards relationships, especially emotionally. And then there is the anxious attachment style, that's when, so the caregiver, they might have actually been like a healthy and loving kind of caregiver, but I don't know, maybe they were like preoccupied with something. And so the attention sometimes was there and sometimes it wasn't. And the child ends up getting like really anxious and very hyper-focused on maintaining connection. So that's, and then the fourth one is, it's called disorganized attachment. And that's, it's kind of like the avoidant and anxious, they go back and forth. And so it's kind of like the natural instinct is for a child to attach. That's like a natural instinct. But another natural instinct is for the child to protect themselves. So if the caregiver wasn't particularly safe, it kind of ends up being like the child goes forward and back. And it's kind of like having your 2 feet on one foot on the gas, one foot on a brake. So it's constantly so you basically freeze. You can't, oftentimes you just can't move forward in any way. So that's kind of a summary.
That's a great summary. Thank you. And I have had a lot of insight into, and my own parenting, not only the way I was parented, but then my own parenting, and having that kind of strength to see it puts a lot of compassion in there in the way you describe it. So This is obviously part of a larger mission and vision. And if you could tell us a little bit about your mission and vision for your work and the program itself and your work at large.
Yeah, so, well, I want to work with women who are kind of younger than me. So they're about, I would say, well, some of them could be a little bit older, but women in, let's say, late 20s up until early 40s. And these women, so they're up to something important in the world. Like, they want to make a difference. They want to, and, some of them actually want to tackle challenging circumstances, like circumstances that are not particularly safe for them. And what I want to do, I want to give them the skills to be able to do that. First of all, one of the observations that I have is that women still haven't learned to work in a feminine way, which is totally natural, because we kind of, we started in a masculine work paradigm. A lot of us quit the corporations, but we moved into businesses and we still work in a masculine way because that's all we know, right? So one of the things I want to do with this program is to teach women how to work in a feminine way, like in a way that doesn't burn them out, and kind of how to replenish your energy, how to sustain your energy, how to, I call it like work smarter, not harder, right? Like, for example, I think all of us here are in feminine power. So it's like manifesting, like it's kind of like less doing and more manifesting. That's what I want to, help women do. And another part of it is like I feel, and this is a little bit tricky to say this, so the new wave of feminism, I think it's exceptional and it's very, very needed. I do see a lot of women being in challenging relationships with men, as opposed, it's kind of like they're really angry about something, and which is oftentimes justifiable. But in my opinion, we can't really move forward in our evolution if we are fighting, if there's so much fighting between genders. Because the thing is that when we are able to relate with men in a healthy way, men could be such exceptional support for us. Like, men will move mountains. Like, honestly, like, I've seen things that just incredible things. Like, men would just do anything for women that they care about, you know, and they have their own good terms with. And I think it's a very important thing to leverage, because, you know, there are a lot of structures out there, they're still masculine, right? Like, it's not like the masculine is going away. So we need to learn to work with men as opposed to fight all the time. So that's another piece I want to bring in for women.
I think that's so cool, because I kind of feel our relationships, I feel like our relationships are a Ferrari, and we're in the Ferrari and we're treating it like an apartment. And when we expect it to be an apartment, it's a terrible apartment.
Right.
But when you treat it like a car, it's an amazing car. Yeah. And so the fact that you are out there kind of helping make that do what it needs to do is so strong.
And another thing, like, I want to add to that, because, for example, as I said, like, the women I will be working with some of them have projects that are pretty dangerous, like, they're not particularly safe, and that could actually be a very good protection mechanism. Like, if a woman knows how to talk to a man in a way that brings out the noble quality of a man, she will protect herself. But if she just, like, tries to challenge him, or then she actually puts herself in a lot of risk, especially if it's a situation that is already pretty charged up. So I want to teach women to, like, stay safe, you know, keep themselves safe.
That is so valuable. That is such a big deal. I'm so excited that you're working on it, because it changes everything. Mm-hmm. Right. And I am really inspired.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there more that you can share about how people can engage you?
So, I mean, you know, the usual way is just to go through my website. Do you want me to give you the website, or should I, like?
I bet it's linked from your profile, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. Yes,
excellent.
That's right. So yeah, that's one way. And I'm also going to start doing some workshops, and I'm going to do an introduction call, because my program is going to launch in October. So I'll just, you know, I'll start gearing up to that, and I'll actually post the introduction talk in Synergy. So.
Oh,
yeah.
Wonderful. And how long will your program be?
So it's 4 months. Okay, the official time is 4 months, but between all of us, like, here, I'm just gonna give you the background about it. So the teaching and the coaching is 4 months, but I really foresee the need for it to be longer. So what I'm going to do is after the 4 months, I'm also going to offer people monthly support. So, like, we'll meet once a month for a year. So, you know, people will start their because it's going to involve a project, and so they'll start their project, and then once the teaching portion is over, we'll just check in every month, and, you know, progress and accountability and all of that.
That's brilliant. That is wonderful. And as I think we all know, that support is so important, ongoing, that you can kind of keep that together.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm totally taking your course.
I'm really excited too. Can I actually ask you guys something? Just so, because I'm thinking of, I already have quite a few ideas in terms of, like, how to promote it and who to talk to. I talked to a few referral partners already, you know, but I want to do more, obviously. And so I've been thinking, okay, well, where do women in the late 20s, like, the kind of women that I want to work with, you know, so, like, conscious, purpose-driven, you know, like, mostly emotionally healthy, where do they hang out? You know, late 20s, early 40s, and I just want to figure out, like, how to reach them, where would be best. So if anyone has any ideas or, I don't know, insights or something, I would love to hear.
I think you've put that challenge out, and we'll see who responds. But in the meantime, I'm wondering if you could tell us the title of your program.
Oh yeah. Hold on. It's a little bit long. Let me find it.
Okay, that's okay. We got time.
So it's called Alive with Possibility, Activating the Power to Live Your Radiant Destiny.
Lovely. That is really, really nice. Okay, everybody has the homework of coming up with an idea or two about where you might identify these women between 25 and early 40s, which is such a transformative time in our lives naturally. And if we have kind of the guidance to make sure that that is constructive and supportive, that's really...
That's actually another reason I want to do it, because like if I found this program 10 years ago, I could have saved myself so much,
Right.
So yeah, that I want to offer this to the younger generation.
I think that's amazing. And I am going to PM you with a couple of ideas of where people, and I'm going to challenge everybody to join me.
Thank you.
But cool. Go ahead, Jan.
I just want to add that I've created a Facebook group now. So we can also post the question in the Facebook group with a replay of the huddle and see what suggestions we get coming there.
That's a great idea.
Thanks. Yeah.
Julia, I'm super excited about your program. I think it sounds both exciting and really deeply stabilizing and nourishing. That's
Thank you.
Really wonderful. And if you see Julia's profile on Synergy, you'll see that she has a lot of experience and a lot of really wonderful credentials that make her exceptionally well suited to offer this service to women.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for interviewing me. It was great.
Let's throw it open and see if anybody else has a question for Julia. I'd like to know, I hope I haven't just missed that. If you've just told it, I'm sorry. But so how do people do the course? Is it an online course?
Right. So it's going to be online, mostly online. I'm in the summer months. Well, actually, I'm still not sure about this part, but in the summer months, I will also be offering people a one-day transformational kayaking experience to...
Wow.
Yeah, to just integrate it all. And I might do it also in California in the winter, because I typically go to California for about a month. So if I can get organized in time, so people who are in California, or if they want to travel, we can also do a day there. But the rest of it is going to be online. Yeah.
Okay, so that means so that means that people can be anywhere in the world, and still do it. Great.
Yeah, anywhere in the world.
I just realized that I'm totally too old for your course.
You can still do it. It's fine.
Wait, I'm not in the target demo. My silver hair gives me away, but I also have a niece that I think would...
I love your silver. I was actually... I'm going to have to talk to you about it, because anyways, we'll talk about
Where in California do you come?
I typically, because this year Claire said that she's going to do the retreat again. So north, what's it called?
In the Bay Area?
Yeah, the Bay Area. And then I typically go to San Diego. So I spend some time in North California, and then I go and warm up.
Love it.
South California, and then I come back here. Yeah.
Love it. Oh, that's great. I'm going to see you when you're in San Diego.
Yeah. You know what? I'll get in touch with you. Yeah.
I was going to say, let's put together a kayak trip. I can find some ladies.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can have a question for you. So, do you have any tip to explain as a sample of the kind of things you can give in this course?
You mean if I have?
If they are exercises, how do you do it?
I have like right now I don't have anything, but I'm in the, I would say like September. I would say like mid-September. I'm going to actually release. I'll do about 4 different calls. It's going to be like mini workshops and it's going to be online and free. And I'll basically give people samples of might even be each module, or maybe I'll just combine them. Yeah, and I'll let people sample. but for now, no. Thanks for asking.
Well, as you finish coalescing and kind of putting the finishing touches on this, we're all going to be cosmically supporting you, recognizing the value of your work. And I think we each probably would have loved someone like you in our lives between 28 and 40. So, who knows what the world would be like had we had that. So
yeah,
the next generation will.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yay.
Any other questions for Julia? Hi, Catherine. Are you coming in with a question, or are you just
Hello.
coming in with a smile? Okay, well, thank you very much, Julia. It's really fascinating to hear that. And as I'm just going to add, you know, that what Leela said about the cosmic support we'll all be feeling towards you as you pull it together, and really looking forward to seeing the little snippets that you're going to share in September.
I will. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for listening and, you know, helping me, holding space for me to care about it. Because
do you have any questions for us?
Well, I do. Actually, you know, yeah, I do. Like, I'm wondering, could someone reflect back to me kind of like a summary of what you heard me say, just like what you understand in terms of what this program is about, so that I can see if I'm articulating it well?
Who would like to do that?
I can.
Brilliant. Thank you, Andrea.
Thanks.
I tell you what I understood. What I understood is that in your course you're going to be giving women, young 20-something, younger women, maybe until 40, some ideas on how to have a better, how to have healthier relationships and not do things that make the man be against us, to help us, or not me because I'm old, but to help younger women work together with men and not against, to have healthier relationships. Because we do see certain things that sometimes that are based on the model of the male society that we have lived in. So what you want is to empower the feminine and connect with the feminine in order to have different type of relationships. I don't know if I'm clear enough.
Yeah.
That's what I understood.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it's going to be a very big part of the program. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Julia, why that particular group? Why don't you address older generation? I've got a reason for asking that question. Actually, I'm witnessing, and I have been witnessing so many divorces in my generation, women 50 plus. I think the rate is actually much higher. And I think that they can really use your expertise. I don't know what's the situation where you live, but certainly back home here in London, people raise children together and they just, everything dissolves and they go separate ways. And that's actually practical side of my question.
Yeah. You know, I've been thinking about it for a long time. I've actually been changing my audience, you know, like my ideal audience, many times. Because exactly what you're saying, I keep thinking, okay, well, you know, everybody can benefit. And so there's a few reasons. One reason is that I just find that my work seems to land better for younger women. Because I try, like I experimented with a few different age ranges, and it seems like the younger women are the ones who have the most progress. And so it's kind of like a natural way for me to choose them. And another thing is that this is actually not like a love program. like it's not about like it's not about just helping people to have healthy relationships. It's a very big part of it, but it's actually, gosh, how to summarize? It's like a whole life program, really, and relationships are just a part of it. So I'm thinking, like, because I almost want to say, like, I would invite older women into the group. I just don't know, and because I'm 37, so, and I'm very, like, my style, I feel that my style oftentimes doesn't land for women who are in older age brackets. It's kind
Makes
of like,
sense.
I don't know, like, I feel, I don't know how to even explain it. It's kind of like the women that I worked with who are older, I find that they just are interested in things that I can't necessarily cater towards. It's yeah, that's all I can say about it.
Yeah, I understand completely. You relate better to that kind of audience. I just wondered because there is definitely huge need in our generation, or I see that way. I'm not sure about the rest, but yeah. Thanks.
And like, just to add to what I was saying is that what I do want to do is actually want to bring in kind of like women who are in the older age bracket as custodians for the program, and to hold space for the younger women who are and share your wisdom and share, right, like, life experience. And so because a lot of people don't necessarily have very good relationships with their parents, right? And so I just want to sort of bring in almost like a mothering kind of energy as well into the container, so that and I find that women in older age brackets do that much better than younger women. So yeah.
Thanks.
I really love that, the idea of bringing in custodians, and there'd be such a feedback benefit to the women who are being custodians as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And they're going to pick up stuff from your program just from being around. So
yeah, because I've done sort of like sample courses, mini courses around, and I had women from like all age brackets. It was just the most amazing experience. Like, it was amazing because the older women were just like so supportive of the younger women and sharing their life wisdom, and giving the younger women kind of opportunity to sort of understand where they're kind of, it was just so beautiful. So yeah, I really want to do that for women.
Lovely.
would anyone else like to comment there?
Me, because I need to go soon-ish. I'm not feeling physically brilliant, so that's why I didn't want to summarize what you said. But nonetheless, just listening, I'm so like tingly and inspired, and it just feels like the drive to get my course up and running, which is totally different. I'll be in prison, I'll be in London, like totally different. But that's what's so perfect. But that I just I don't know. I feel so much gratitude, and the custodian thing, like this, the web and the synapse and all the. I've got a visual. I can't communicate it. But it's just so exciting, and it's so like you were already doing amazing work. Last time I heard you in an interview, Julia, and I was like, wow, and it's just evolving all the time. And I love the idea of the fact that as custodians, we're returning to that structure where we're honoring age and wisdom as well, and using it so everything is, and then it's all feeding one another. So, but yeah. So I have much, and I don't know where to find that that demographic, but that's an awesome question. Even to think about it, I'm like, oh, that's really useful to start thinking about where people are.
Yeah.
Yoga
Well,
studios.
but thank you.
They're all in yoga studios.
That's
yoga
Thank
studios
you.
and smoothie bars.
Yeah, that's right. That's so true. Yeah. Thank you.
but I will ask. I will think about that. But thank you so much. That's really inspired me.
Well, thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Julia. Very, very exciting.
It is, and I think that this is really a neat forum, Jan. I think the opportunity to talk and hear what people heard and be able to share it in that way. I want to do this for everybody. Like, I want to hear everybody's stuff and try to be supportive. I think that would be really cool.
Excellent. Yes. So here's the teaser. If you would like to be featured in the Synergy Spotlight, what we'd like to see is that you complete your, if you have one, your influencer profile, and definitely then a public or private profile. And then we will, and put your hand up and say, yes, I'd like to be spotlighted. And then we'll fit you in, because we would love to go on doing this as a regular feature. And if we can't fit you all in on the huddles, we'll just convene another little extra huddle to do it.
Or that could be the community circle. I'm trying to, like, you've put things on the Facebook thing and I love it, but I don't remember all the names. So.
Well, the Synergy Circle comes out of an idea Julia had right at the beginning when we were first talking, before we even had a huddle, was the idea of having maybe a monthly gathering, but it could be just totally sporadic, but a gathering where it's about the people on the call. So we're not discussing how Synergy is going to work or anything like that. We go around and people share what's current for them, and we can share the big give and the big ask if we have one that we want to put out there. That could also begin with a spotlight, or end with a spotlight, or whichever way around, or have one in the middle. Julia said that she may well be able to facilitate one of those, maybe September or October or thereabouts. It depends as you get your program together, whether you feel that's still a possibility. And the way that it can work is if Julia's going to facilitate one, she can tell me exactly what date and time she wants to do it. And I'll set that up as a Zoom meeting if it's a time when I'm going to be awake. And email everybody about it. So anyone else wants to do one, it's as simple as that, really. Just say when you want it and we'll make it happen.